What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY review, we're going to take a look at another Gundam Build Divers kit, and it is the Ogre Jinx, or GNX for people who want to be like that. And this is one of the main antagonists slash anti-hero kind of people that we've been introduced to, and really we got introduced to this guy in essentially the, what was it, second episode? Yeah, when they finally went into GBN and ran into him, and of course his little brother who was scamming people kind of situation. Now, of course, it is a custom version of the GNX, but also adding in aspects of the Age 1 Titus, which you can tell by the, pointy energy shoulders. The fantastic box art here. I mean, that is just something awesome. You got the great heat and particle effects coming off of virtually everything because it is a GN powered dude. So you got some red GN drives or GN particles coming off over there. You've got a really nice background with the, the kind of GBN thing happening there where it's like the fake screen, whatever. And you got Ogre Jinx right down here and a big old light reflection right there because sometimes when I have to move my lights down. And we come to the bottom, and you got actions, and you got GN Ogre Sword. Yep, that's a big old thing. The model's characteristically massive proportion and wide range of joint motions allow for realistic action poses. True. Alright, they come back there, you got GN something. It doesn't actually tell you exactly what it is in English. That's a little odd. But it says, oh, I'm sorry. The beam effects are included. GN Beam, Shoulder Tackle, and GN Needle Straight can be recreated. And you've got the lowering the visor on the headpiece can transform it into Hitsume mode. That's pretty cool. And you've got two GN swords can be linked equipped to GN Ogre Twin Sword. Whatever. And there you got the build custom stuff as usual. And you come around this side, you got number 5 in the line, because that's what we do here, and, going in numerical order, essentially. You got BendyHobby.net right there, and big old sword come across right there. And come to the last side, and we've got the obligatory rear and front shot, looking very nice right there. And you got the read up right there of the Ogre Jinx. Go ahead and read that if you like. Alright, and we come over here, and GNX has pointy stuff, so keep it out of your 3-year-old's face. Got a little guy with the toilet. It says top cover box paper, polypack PP. 2,000 yen kit. It's pretty hefty, comes with a lot of spare parts, so that makes sense. And illustration is by Koma, and background images by Saito Yoshinobu, which explains why I like it so much, because it's my favorite artist. Brand new version of the Jinx. Still upside down. Ogre would probably be pretty mad about that. So, no build montage. Sorry, guys. So, let's go ahead and jump right to it. Alright, guys. So, here we have the Ogre Jinx out here, and looking very red and purple. Though getting a little bit washed out by my lights, but it does still look really good. And of course I got them here on the diver gear. And you can mount him one of two ways. I'm using the hole that's in the back skirt here, but he can also be mounted through a crotch peg. But that's a polycap peg, and I am really not keen on using those because much like the old school, I think it was CeraVe or Virtue, definitely has a problem with wallowing out over time. So go ahead and take him off of the stand there so we can see the boy kind of up close. And you get standard details like nice little crystal right there in the forehead for a little ogre eye. You also can see the purple metallic eyeballs in there, and that sticker is a little tricky to apply with the way it wraps around the face, but you're supposed to get 4 eyes out of it, so the 2 up top and the 2 down below. A little harder to see, but they are there. You get the big purple sticker that goes inside there in the chest. Looks really, really nice. This is one of my favorite designs, and it's not just that it's a hardcore 00 design, but I like it. It's hefty, it's big and chunky, and just, it's kind of fun. Like, that's the thing. It's like, kind of like the Momoka pool we looked at before. That's a very fun kit. This thing, it's fun and a little more inventive than some of the previous ones we've looked at. but he's pretty cool in his own right. Now let's go ahead and compare him to all the kits we've seen so far before we check out all his other stuff. So we've got Momo from last time. Looking very washed out. What is going on there? That's a little bit better. Okay, so we got Momo. We've got Rommel. We've got Yuki. I don't even have like enough room to really show everybody off here. We've got the Champion back here, which I don't believe we've actually seen them together in the same spot. Champion's having a lot of difficulties lately, if I'm totally honest with you guys. And then the main rival, of course, our hero, the 00 Diver, Ace, which is a lot of fun. So that's all the current build divers kits. That's a lot of stuff, guys. Just got to keep messing with the friggin' things. It's like it's kind of hard to do red suits, if I'm totally honest, and the autofocus is having a heck of a time. Let's go ahead and show off accessories. No. All right, so let's go ahead and show off articulation and stuff, because he does have those things. And the head is just on a kind of, I think it's a hinge. Yeah, it's a hinge ball joint. So he can tilt side to side. He can look down about that far before you run into the chin. He can look up about that far. He can turn about that far before hitting the collar. You can pull it up just ever so slightly to get it over the collar. Here's what it is. Shoulders have a hinge here through the chest, but then also the rotation joint there. So these parts can move a little bit. The shoulder itself can go all the way around like so. You can pull forward, you can pull back. It's actually very, very articulate. Look at this butterfly. That is ridiculous. I do think this part is wheeled a little bit loose, but it is what it is. Not a lot going on chest-wise, but you got torso. There's no ab crunch, sadly, and no tilt, which it should do. I kind of skipped over the rest of the arms. You got some rotation here in the shoulder pauldrons, which I don't know if that's really supposed to move, but it can. You've got bicep rotation, a little bit limited. It can run into stuff. You've got single jointed elbow for that, and you've got standard ball peg wrist joints down here. Now, I'll show this off now because it is a minor complaint. This comes off super easy on mine. So, in the future, if you're not really planning on doing much with this guy, I would suggest gluing that on, or else it just comes off like that easy. Especially when you're trying to pull the swords off and stuff like that. It is kind of annoying. Like I said, waist joint is good. The skirts all flip up individually, no having to trim or cut anything there. You're not going to get much of a Jean-Claude out of this. It is very limited. It is just a T-mounted ball joints there. You got thigh rotation here, but then you also got it on the ball joint for the proper thigh. He can kick forward about that far due to the chunky armor. He can only kick back that far, which isn't really anything at all because the back skirt armor is very limiting. The legs have a big single jointed knee. Once you move this rear leg skirt out of the way, you can get not quite 90. It's pretty low there. It is, yeah, it's just single jointed. Now I like the GNX type leg armor. That's pretty cool. But then you get down here and it's big flared out, very much like a Dom or something like that from the UC. I dig that. You even got some thrusters underneath there. You got what is basically a normal Jinx foot on top of a really big bottom foot, or I'm sorry, Jinx ankle, I should say. Now you have 2 points here. You've got a ball joint mount there, so you can wiggly, waggly, wiggly, waggly, but then you also have it as kind of a hinge, so you can get some massive toe point. You also got this ankle armor that does move out of the way, so you can get it in some decent angles, like so. So he's surprisingly posable. Carries over some of the engineering from the Jinx that you would expect, but then a lot of new stuff indeed. But he's very, very imposing, like so. Now for accessories, let's talk real simple ones right off the bat. You've got an expressive left hand. By the way, I didn't mention it. Stickers. This guy is kind of sticker heavy. So you got the foil stickers for all the cameras, all the GN stuff. But you also get these gray stickers for the back of the hands. And because I was lazy in this one and I wanted to see how good the stickers actually were, I went ahead and used all of them. So the ones for the back of the hands are as follows. You just kind of put them on there and try to push it down into the seam. Actually, doesn't bother me. And so you can see that on the normal hands too. You got similar stickers right there inside the side skirts. And you got the same kind of stickers around the GN drive. This all stuff I've painted before on similar kits, but in this one, I went ahead and just used the stickers. I was actually fairly well happy with them. Now, the insides of these, like thrusters, I'm guessing is what these are supposed to be, should be gray. Probably was going to be a big pain in the butt to paint those, and I didn't do it. The spikes here on the arms are wraparound really bad stickers. Not gonna lie, that was some really poor decision making on their part for those, but at a glance, you're really not gonna notice. And I definitely don't have a metallic red that even comes close to matching that. You could probably get away with using the metallic red Gundam marker if you really want to. I just wasn't gonna go there. Now back to this hand. Might as well just go ahead and pull the entire wrist off because it always does that. And this ball peg sucks in there really good, not gonna lie. And you can just put in the nice expressive hand there, so if you need to slap his brother around a little bit, he can do that. It's kind of a carryover, I think, from the regular GNX, but it definitely works for this guy. I'm not going to complain. Now, see, once again, that comes off super easy, so after this review, I might actually go ahead and glue that in place. Now, it does only go on the one way, or at least it should only go on the one way. So make sure you catch it just right. Now for the rest of his weapons, he's got his Ogre swords. So GN Ogre swords. I like these. I like the big translucent orange blades. They do look really, really nice. Very nice see-through. Now, this might be a problem just with mine. If you have this kit, let me know. But these blades are super wiggly, both of them. And it doesn't matter how much I sandwich it, they don't get any tighter. So, once again, it might be something needs gluing. It might have been something that got loose, but I mean, even squeezing this shut doesn't make them not wiggle. And I like the molding on the handle. It looks really good. You could totally paint that in some gray if you really want to, or maybe even like a dark brown. It probably wouldn't go amiss. I like that these are definitely something from 00, but not something we've ever seen before. And you, of course, can do a couple different things. You can totally store them on the back. So you've got these little ports right here. So you have this port and the normal port molded in already. So you just use those holes and you plug that on there. But then it comes with this port, I just grabbed the wrong thing, that extends out so you can totally have them on the butt skirt, as you do. And this is basically his walk around mode. I think it's funny that there should be energy blades, but they're not. They're actually physical, just clear blades. And you can have them as low or as high as you want to have them. You can flip it over, you can do whatever you want. And it's your thingy, display it how you like. But of course, we're not going to really be using it to store the weapons, are we? No, I don't think so. We're going to be using it to fight. Now, this is one minor complaint I have with this, is the back of the hands come off very, very easily. But they are standard HG style hands, so you can just do it. Now, it's a little slightly tricky, but you've got one perfectly flat spot right there on the handle that will go into the hand. And I kind of wish it was designed where he could choke up on the blade a bit more. I really do. The other thing is, when you get it in there, come on. Like I said, the back of the hand is a little bit loose. This pommel down here does tend to get hung up in little spots like that. Also, not a super secure grip. So they probably could have engineered these slightly better. But the look is really what you're going for. And it's not like these are toys. That's one thing that I look at stuff, I look at Gundam kits, that would be exactly the problem there. That took no effort to bump that and that thing went flying. So that might require some beefing up. It's just a problem, not gonna lie. Okay, so there we go. Now he's got his G and Ogre swords. I like that. They're very, very imposing weapons. Definitely deadly. We have seen him really wreck some shop in the show, and this is pretty cool. But once again, I wish he was choking up on the sword a little bit more than he is here. Now, there is, of course, the way to make it a twin sword, or whatever they called it, the Ogre twin swords. You can kind of combine them to a degree. And it's going to require popping this one loose as well, and just taking off the entire hand, because problems. And so basically you're just going to do this. So you've got a minor tab right there, you've got a minor grip right inside there, and they just together. Catch that? They went. And put that back in. Once again, I'm probably going to glue that. And you want to use the blade of the downward, or the handle of the downward facing blade to really hold that in place. Gets mildly tricky. There we go. And now you've got him going full like Darth Maul style. Now he can't hold them both at the same time, which would be cool. And one thing I do wish is that he had a little bit more range of motion, because that's as far as the elbow is going to get, and you can't get him in like a more extreme. Also, wishing the wrist had a like one of those 45 kinks like a lance holder would have. That would be really, really cool in this case. But the point, I believe, comes across as such. That could be a thumbnail here. Hold on. Let's get a picture of that. Wow. Okay. Now, of course, he does have even more stuff than this. Let's go ahead and pop the swords off, because he does have a Trans Am mode, although he can't change color and stuff like that. But first and foremost, we'll come to the head, because this is where something changes. The little eye thingy here totally pops off, just like that, and you can see the purple part. And you've got a big open slot right there, and you basically just push it down. And now he becomes like a Cyclops, or what, I forgot what they called this mode. It was a word that I can't really pronounce. Hold on. This is the Hitatsume mode. What, I think that's a giant Hitatsume. I have to look it up. I'm pretty sure that's what it means though, because I've heard that word combined in there with giant. Now, this is where he actually gets some of his age upgrades, so to speak. And I'm going to show these off first because they don't use them. But because this is coming from the Age 1 Titus, you do get these little energy disky thingies that usually would go around the wrist of the Titus. But because that is a square forearm, and this does not, you can sort of use them. You can put them on... Where'd they go? You can put them on back here if you really want. It definitely doesn't... Hitatsumi Giant. That's right. That's from Yu-Gi-Oh! Just occurred to me. You've got a very, very loose fit here. But hey, if you have a spare Age 1 lying around, maybe you can make use of that. I don't know. But they're cool. You got some energy donuts. Yay. But what you really get is a buttload of energy spikes. Now comes the part where I have to put all of these on. Should I just skip that? I think I'm just going to skip that. Okay, so I at least did that side on its own, so save a little bit of time. Basically, what you got here is a little round peg with a minor tab coming off of it, and it corresponds to the hole on the wrist. And it'll only go in one way. Don't try to force it the other. By the way, it is mildly pointy, so be careful when you're pushing them in. You don't want to accidentally poke out a 3-year-old's eyes. And if you're generally putting in something pointy with a 3-year-old's face, you should probably reevaluate what you're doing with your life. Now on the shoulder, it's the same difference. So just do that. And I looked it up just real quick while I was doing this. And Hitatsume basically was a one-eyed demon clan kind of deal. It's a yokai, all kinds of things like that. So basically it's a Cyclops mode, which basically that's what he do. So in his Trans Am, he has a Cyclops. And that right there is an incredibly imposing thing. Check that out. Alright guys, so for final thoughts, this thing is probably more worth it than a lot of these Build Divers kits. It's a lot of fun. It's a huge, beefy, and just absolutely gorgeous mobile suit. Now, some of the details, if you feel like painting them, will probably improve this mildly, at least to say. One thing I will note, it does come with alternate parts for like the butt skirt and the main hips and stuff like that, so it comes in double color. So if you want to tweak it just slightly and alter, say like maybe have this red and some other parts purple, it does have that ability. It does come with excess parts for that, so you can modify slightly if you're into that sort of thing. But as it goes, you guys know I love me some Double O, and this is a very cool Double O kit with some age influence. It's posable, it looks cool, it has interesting gimmick to say the least, because he's clearly going to spike you to death, whether it's with his shoulder or with his fist. And the big swords, otherwise he's going to cut you down. So definitely go get you one, guys. It's not just because it's a great kit from Build Divers, it's just a great kit in general. Now I am having mild issues trying to get some light in here for the GN drives, but I can fix that later. But guys, if you like this video, if you like this Gunpla, give me a thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that little subscribe-ish button down there. Hit that little bell thingy so you also know whenever I post new videos, which is pretty much every day anyways. And of course, I'm always rolling out new Gunpla content and other fun nerdy stuff in between, so come back for that. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel a little bit, you can always hit up the Patreon right here on the screen, patreon.com/SHOKYReviews, and be like John, Andy, Steve, Kolby, and TheKrowSama, and help support the channel and keep things moving. Every little bit does help to actually, make sure that I don't have to entirely rely on YouTube for money. So if I can get up to about $200 a month, that would be awesome. So if you want to help out in another way, you can totally get a Shoky shirt right here on the screen. Actually working on a couple new mild designs and stuff like that. And if you have any other ideas based off of what I have on this channel, and if you're a longtime fan, let me know what you would want to see on a shirt. Maybe I can make that happen in the future. But I'll catch you guys on the next review, and that's it for this Ogre Jinx. I'll catch you guys later. Remember, as always, to keep on building.